Let's get this party started. First of all, shout out Maurice Ashley. That was an amazing video, man. Amazing, amazing
Yeah,
video.
man.
Very, very dope. And also, I want to, before we get it started, we're coming to you live from the Hennessy Studios right here at WGCI. Shout out, thanks Hennessy for the headphones. They're awesome. And the podcast mic. And of course, we wouldn't be in the Hennessy Studios without this. So let's get to it, man. I want to welcome everybody to the third annual WGCI Music Summit. We're going all virtual this year, of course. And today is all about the greats. That's right. It's the master of the class presented by Hennessy. Never stop, never settle. And it is time to hear the career stories of legendary artists and get some knowledge on how they became great. Our guest for tonight is a friend of the show. That's right, NeYo, singer, songwriter, producer, actor, big time boss. Right now with a current top 10 single, You the Love, featuring Chicago's very own Jeremiah. And he's got the remix, number one on the charts. It's got Queen NeYo on it, Lil Durk. And we all know the legendary list of songs, which is only about 50 of them joints, but it's so sick, man. Will You Mad, Sexy Love, Miss Independent, She Got Her Own, and so many more. Hey NeYo, I'm gonna have to talk to you today like I don't know you, brother.
All right, all right.
We're going. I got to interview. I got to give you a great interview, but I know you're going. It's a lot of people watching, and you're going to share some knowledge with them on how you got on and how you can help them. But first and foremost, how are you doing, my brother?
I'm good, man. I'm in a very I'm in a zen place. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm in a great space right now. Despite everything going on around the world, you know, COVID done came and threw a monkey wrench in everybody's situation. But I think if nothing else that you should pick up from the video that just played is that adaptation is pretty much air. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to adapt, you have to evolve, you have to move, you have to just keep going, bro. Like whatever obstacle stands in your way, you got to figure out your way through it, around it, under it, over it. But you got to keep going, and that's what I've been doing, brother. That's all we can do.
Absolutely. Now the family's all good. We saw some pictures that was posted. You and wifey were hanging out, and how's that going, man? Are we balancing recording and family life? What's going on? Are we just in family mode?
It is balancing is the good word for it, because it is damn sure a balancing act. Ringling Brothers ain't got nothing on me right now, brother. As far as balancing acts go, it's, you know, there was a point in time where you remember when we was free to just move around and come and go as we please. You remember that? Remember that?
Yeah. It seems so far away.
Yeah.
Like.
So back then, you know what I'm saying, I could. It was a little easier to balance because, okay, the family was here, the work was here, the kids was here, but now everything is in one place, happening at one time. So, you know, I'm sitting trying to write a song, and all of a sudden, bow, I get hit upside the head with a SpongeBob toy, because my little man is right there, screaming at the top of his lungs. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get wifey to come get him, but she cooking. So she's like, I can't grab him right now, because if I do, I'm gonna burn dinner, and then you're gonna be mad. I'm like, all right, what? So I'm holding him and trying to write at the same time. And he, for whatever reason, my kids like to hit me. I don't know what that is. Is that all
the daddy thing? We're our punching bag. Dads are punching bags, 100%.
It's just a natural response. Daddy, I pick him up and says, bow, and just give me one. Like, dang, little bro, I thought we was in a good space. But anyway, again, it's a balancing act, but it's a labor of love. You know what I'm saying? It's the only headache that I would ever choose. Damn it. That's what it is.
Absolutely, definitely. This is a quick thing. Jumping to the music really fast. Now, You the Love took off. When I talked to you for the BET Awards, we had a conversation. You the Love was just starting to bubble. It's gone, right? Then you got the remix. Bang! It's gone. Stop playing, NeYo, and you and Jeremiah do an album. That is.
I'm with that.
That is an incredible duo. It seems cool to me. It just feels good, right?
I am 100% with that. We didn't discuss anything that grand initially. You know what I'm saying? This was our first time ever working together, and as you see what the result was.
Right.
I've been a fan of Jeremiah for a long time. I've been saying for a long time the dude is a musical genius, you know what I mean? And I feel like he's one of the cats that don't really get the flowers deserved right this second, you know, so I'm taking it upon myself to make sure that everybody knows that this song, though it was a collaboration, Jeremiah kind of brought this song to me. You know what I'm saying? He had the track, he had his verse done, he had his hook done, and he was like, bruh, all I need you to do is throw a verse on it, and we off to the races. I'm like, say less, and we was good. So shout out to Jeremiah for being the visionary that he is. And with that being said, I'd love to do an album with Jeremiah. I think that'd be a good idea. I might need to call him and run that idea by him and see what he thinks. Yeah, I think that might be
y'all welcome.
dope.
That's it. I just wanted to give you a small bit of credit.
Yeah, I'm glad I thought of that just now. Glad that was me. That was 100% my idea.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey man, now of course, when you've been doing music, as long as you have and been successful as you have, you've become a GOAT, and that's just what it is. How does it feel to have that type of status? Is there pressure? Are you going against your older music? Are you thinking like, how do I maintain? What's the thought process in that?
So new album that I've been working on for the last 2 years and some change. For that exact reason. That's the reason it's taking so long, because I was kind of sitting back in my own head thinking about, oh man, the sound done changed a little bit. You know, we got these younger generations coming up. Where do I fit? Like, what is it? Who gives a damn about a NeYo song anymore? You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I had to kind of step back from myself and realize that I don't do this for fame. I don't do this for recognition. I don't do this for money. I do this because I have no choice. I do this because it is literally woven into my DNA. Like, if I never made another dollar off of music, you would still get NeYo records because this is just who I am and what's inside of me. So once I got back to that place and realized that I'm not a record label, therefore selling records is not my job. My job as an artist, as an individual, is to get my energy out, get my passion out, get my emotions out, you know what I'm saying, the best way that I can, and hope that the music touches somebody else's life. That's my job in this. And once I got back in that mind state, things became a little easier. You know, now it's not about, oh man, is this song rhythmic enough? Or, oh man, is the younger generation gonna dig this? Like, it ain't about that no more. I remember being a kid, I listened to everything that my mama listened to. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't even about a generational situation. It was about melody. It was about lyrics. It was about the way that music made you feel. And if you're writing from that place, then it really don't matter if it's young enough for the young generation or you know, or those things don't compute anymore. Now it's just about trying to do something that's going to touch somebody's life. You know what I mean? And that's where I shoot from now at this point. I've been blessed enough to do well enough in the business to where, again, if I never make another dollar in music, I ain't gonna miss no meals no time soon. You know, so that's a blessing, and I'm grateful for that. If I get a number one, I am 100% grateful and happy and thankful to the people that made it possible. But if it don't happen, I'm not gonna lose no sleep. You know what I mean? I'm not going to sit back and beat myself up like, oh man, such and such got this MTV Video Music Award and I didn't. I'm not in that place no more. Now it's about, as I said, it's about doing something that's going to touch somebody's life. You know, if somebody run up on me and say, hey man, me and my wife got married and our first dance was to one of your songs. That's my vic now. That's my victory now. You know what I'm saying? That's my win now, as opposed to selling a bunch of records. Now, don't get me wrong. Of course, don't nobody want to put out something and perform poorly, but that's not the motivating factor to why I do what I do anymore. Now it's really just about enjoying myself in this, enjoying the fact that music is still alive and breathing, the R&B music is still alive and breathing, and just contributing what I can to it, you know, for whoever's listening, be it one person, 10 people, 100 people, 100,000, a million people. That's what it's about now.
I love it. You're in the creation mode and you're satisfied with what you did. That's a great place to be. And speaking of things that you did, what would you say was like your biggest and most memorable moment in music?
One of my most memorable moments in music, for a couple reasons, is the first time I won a Grammy. Okay. Memorable because coming up, you know, as a younger version of myself before I got into the business, you know, the Grammy is always that's the big one. You know, it's the most prestigious award in music. That's the one that you go to sleep dreaming about, or at least that's who I was as a kid. You know what I mean? So the nomination came and I was on top of the world. You know, I wasn't even tripping off whether or not I was going to win, just the fact that I got nominated. Because, you know, I know how many artists is out here, how much music comes out daily. So just the fact that I got nominated was enough for me. But just to be safe, I had my acceptance speech in the pocket of my jacket. Like, all right, if I do get it, I'm gonna get up on stage and I'm gonna thank God, I'm gonna thank my mom, and I'm gonna do all that, right? So I'll never forget, I'm walking the red carpet on the way into the Grammys, right? And as I'm doing an interview with somebody, and as I'm doing that, a ghost shoots by my head and says, "Congratulations, you just won a Grammy." And I'm like, "Oh, all right, damn." What? I mean, it was one of the producers. Like they told me before I even got in the building, "Hey, congratulations, you just won a Grammy." Like, oh, okay. So when do I get to walk on the stage? Like, no. You don't get to do that. You won a Grammy for a category that's not televised. That was when I learned that there are Grammys that you win. Not all of the categories are televised. Like there's hundreds of categories that are not televised. You'll never see these people walk up on stage and thank God and thank their mama. And I'm one of those people 3 times over at this point. I've won 3 times and I've never walked across the Grammy stage.
Oh, that's terrible.
Like, oh man, this thing is heavy. Thank God, thank my mama. I've never done that, so it was like a bittersweet type of situation. Like I was happy, but I was like, this is not the way I planned it. This is not the way I saw it happening in my head. You know what I mean?
Right.
So memorable for that reason. But then on the other side of it, again, as you age in this business and as time passes, you start to realize what true victory is. I had a cat run up on me one time and told me that he was going to take his life and didn't behind one of my songs. Like that. I'm no disrespect to the Grammy, the Grammys at all, but that outweighs a Grammy to me, bro. Like my music saved somebody's life. I don't need a trophy. I don't need it. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate it if it comes, but I don't need it because I know that I contributed to saving someone's life with a song like that. There's no award you can give me that trumps that. That's just what that is.
Yeah, beautiful story. You guys did a song called Change. Now you got Common, Jermaine Dupri, others, man. Pretty big song. Talk about the message about that song, Change.
So the song, first and foremost, shout out to Jermaine Dupri because he was the one that Jermaine hit me personally, like, yo, this is what we're doing, this is what we're trying to put together. I need you to be a part of this. So of course I said yes, Jermaine Dupri. But what the song was about, like he played me the rough. And I was in even more because the song is about when we say change, we don't just mean the change that we want to see in the world. It's about the change that needs to happen in you and in you. The big thing this year was vote. Make sure you get out and vote. Everybody get out and vote. But I think what wasn't pushed enough was educating yourself on who you're voting for before you just go vote. You know what I mean? Like so everybody's talking Trump, Biden. Okay, that's one category on the voter ballot. There's like a bunch of different stuff to vote for. Everybody in your city that is a government elected official is elected, meaning somebody voted that person into that job. So if somebody is doing something that you don't like, you don't agree with their policies or whatever, you can vote that person out of that job. But if you don't know who the hell you voting for, you can mess around and vote in somebody worse than who's already there because you didn't take the time to educate yourself on who it was that you were voting for. So change for me meant changing the mental state of us as Black people. It's like Jonte Austin was telling the story. He stood in line for 11 hours to vote. 11 hours. Now I don't know. It just seemed like a lot of Black people wouldn't do that. Like 11, I ain't finna stand in line all day. I ain't finna do that. But it's like you'll stand in line for Jordans. You'll stand in line for a concert ticket. You'll camp out for a day to get the new Jordans when they come out. Like, but you won't stand in line to make sure that somebody is in office that's gonna do right by you. That don't make no damn sense. I felt like so that's what the change meant to me. Changing the mindset of people. Like let's not be comfortable in our less than. You know what I'm saying? Let's not get to that point where we so lazy and just comfortable in it that my vote don't matter anyway, so I ain't voting. All right, well then everything that's wrong in your hood, I don't want to hear you say nothing about it because you didn't do nothing about it.
Facts.
So that's what the song is about. It's about changing yourself so that you can see the change that you want to see, being the change that you want to see.
Oh, well said. Now, this is the thing. We can switch gears a little bit and get to another song that you did. And You the Love. We'll get back. We right back here. Remix with Durk. How did that happen? How did you reach out to Lil Durk? I don't. When people's mind, they don't see NeYo and Lil Durk hanging out. You know what I mean? How did that happen?
True. You know what I'm saying? Listen, NeYo's a thug. Y'all don't understand. Now I'm playing. Now, you know what, man? I reached out I'll say this, I reached out to a few people, you know, about this remix, and, you know, some people declined, and for whatever reason or another, and it's all good, you know what I'm saying? I completely understand. Everybody's busy doing their own thing, making sure that they are right, and that's fine. We asked Durk, and it was an instant yes, you know what I'm saying? And I appreciate that. I appreciate the fact that this new generation, you know, still gives a damn about a NeYo record, you know. So Lil Durk, Queen Naija, again, another one of the new generation that's really making moves. Again, it was an instant yes right away, and I just appreciate that, man. I know that I am seasoned at this point, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing for me to still be even mentioned and thought of. It's a blessing. It's a blessing because there's a whole lot of cats that's been doing this way longer than me, and you don't hear their names no more. And you know what I'm saying? That happens. That happens. So the fact that this new generation was willing to reach out and you know, embrace the season, like it felt good. It felt good, and I appreciate them for it.
Yeah, that's very cool. So when you doing records, right? Of course you're not right thinking about the remix. That probably happens organically, but do you already have in your mind like, oh, I can do this record, I'll write this record out, and I want this feature? Does that happen for you? Do you already have people in mind when you want to feature them?
Not really. I prefer for features to happen organically. I prefer for the song to, you know, take on its own identity. And then when you think remix, like I'm more of a fan of the remix that almost feels like a completely different song. You know what I mean? But we didn't really have time to get it cracking like that. But that when I think remix, I think, you know, reimagined, revisioned, or whatever the case may be. So yeah, I don't like to put shackles on it so much, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? I like it to just be free, and whatever happens, happens. Meaning whoever jump on it and does something impressive and memorable that's who's on the remix. You know what I mean? I'm not really saving a space for this specific person or that specific person. Like, nah, we got to get such and such on this one. We gonna reach out to a few people. You know, it's always, mind you, it's always a team decision with me. I'm not a dictator. I have people on my team whose opinions I respect and appreciate. So we all sit and talk about it, and you know, they throw names up, and they go, all right, what about this person? What about that person? All right, well, let's try it. If it works, it works. If it don't, it don't. The song is pretty much gonna tell you who works and who don't. Like, that's just how it happens. You know, some of the dopest cats you've ever heard might have not been dope on that record. You know, that's just the reality of it. So yeah, I don't like to really plan it as much as just letting it kind of happen the way it's gonna happen.
I love that. That's very cool. How about this? Speaking of features, in a way, now you have worked with a ton of people, legendary features that you have. Is there somebody that you would like to work with that you have not worked with?
That is a relatively long list. Yeah.
Give me three. Give me three. Give me three.
All right.
Give me three.
So I've written for Beyonce. I've never sang with Beyonce. And part of that is my fault, because when I had the opportunity, I was scared. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, what the hell? I'm not finna sing next to, I'm not finna do that and have people talking about I can't sing because she sound that much better than me. No, not doing it. But I would love to do a record with Beyonce. Let me see. Of my five kings, and my five kings are Prince, Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder, Sammy Davis Jr., and Marvin Gaye. Stevie is the only one still living. I would love to get in and do something with Stevie at some point. We just got to make schedules make sense on that. And third, probably Drake. I have a lot of respect for Drake as an artist, a lot of respect for Drake as a writer, and we have never done anything together. We just never have. You know, we're actually on the same tour a long time ago when he was like opening up for Trey Songz. You know what I'm saying? And like we spoke about it at that point because I could see it then. We spoke about it then, but it just never really came to fruition. You know, so where he is now, Cat is a little difficult to get a hold of, which I understand. It's all good. But yeah, I feel like that would be dope. I would love to see what a NeYo and Drake song would sound like.
Oh yeah, it'd be crazy. It'd be crazy. He just had to rap, no singing, because then the singing difference. They just let you sing.
Hey, I will let
him bar it up.
How you freaking, bro? Whatever you feel on the joint.
Let him bar it up. That's coming from a consumer. But anyhow, also this is the thing, and you hear it. It happens. It goes in waves all the time where they say, like, you know, R&B's dying, you know, R&B's not doing anything, it's resurging. Do you even think right now, at this point where we're at in music, do you think R&B is getting the respect that it deserves?
I think that we have to know and understand that music is supposed to and will always evolve. It will never stay the same. You know what I mean? From the music that my uncles listen to the music that my dad listened to my grandfather on down, it's you can literally hear the change in the generations as we move up. You know, so now some people have an issue with R&B taking on a more hip hop feel, where there's a lot more words happening in cadences and melodies are a little more monotone, and that's just another evolution of R&B. At the end of the day, it's all R&B. Your favorite rapper raps in melody. You know what I'm saying? And with that being said, there's inspiration from R&B in there. That's just what it's always going to be. So I don't think that one specific genre of R&B is supposed to always have the spotlight. I think that R&B is always going to be there, be it the really melodic hook on your favorite hip hop song, or be it one of these new R&B cats trying to bring that old sound back, or whatever the case may be. I feel like the best elements of R&B, the melody, that lyric that means something, I feel like that's never going to go anywhere. You know what I'm saying? I feel like music is kind of a pendulum. It's going to swing towards things that are a little bit less emotional, things that don't really feel like much, and then it's going to swing back. Like, that's how it always happens. And I feel like it's just a matter of time. So do I think that R&B is getting the respect it deserves? I don't think that R&B ever went anywhere. I think that people's attention spans got shorter. People's tastes changed a little bit, but at the end of the day, R&B is still here. It didn't go anywhere. It was there. You just wasn't really paying attention to it, but it's never not been there.
Yeah, perfect. Now, who would be your favorite artist right now in the new generation, R&B
style? Super duper fan of her, for a multitude of reasons. I love her. I love the gift of melody that is in her. I love how she freaks melodies and how she freaks cadences. I love the fact that, before she was her, she was Gabby Wilson. I met her as Gabby Wilson. Alicia Keys introduced me to her, and she was a prodigy at that point. Mind you, I think she might have been 14. But prodigy, yeah. Amazing on the piano, amazing on the guitar. And it was just, and I remember the conversation of, how do we break her? What do we do? And I'm like, what do you mean, how do you break her? Just put it out. Just let her do what she do. But they were like, but she's young, and her, like, they were saying that she had like an old soul. Like, yeah. she seemed like she'd been here before. That. And it's like, all right, well, I mean, I didn't have the answer at the time, but I love the fact that she kind of came up with the answer herself. She said, I don't want people to listen to my music because I'm cute. I don't want people to listen to my music because they like my body. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put these glasses on so that you can't even see my face, and I'm gonna do concerts in silhouette so that you have no choice but to rock with this music if you're gonna rock with me. And I love that she did that, because that's brave in an era where people tell you that image is everything. You got to look like this, you got to dress like this, you got to be built like that, you got to have on this name brand or whatever. She said, damn all that, listen to this song, damn it. And right. That was enough. It was powerful enough to get her to where she needed to be. And I love that story. I love that about her, that she kind of took the long way around. You know what I mean? Like, I call it the Lenny Kravitz way. I call it the Prince way. Prince was getting booed off the stages for 2 years for doing the exact same thing that made him an icon. The exact same thing. And people didn't get it for 2 years, but he kept doing what he did, and eventually, you know what I mean? And I feel like there's only a handful of artists that are patient enough and true to themselves enough to do it that way. So I must always hats off to her. Let me see, who else? Chris is still killing them. You must give this man his respect. All right. He this drama, that drama, whatever the case may be, but at the end of the day, he said, you know what? I'm gonna still hit y'all with this music. And whether you like me personally or not, you're gonna respect the fact that this music is amazing and that I do what I do. You gotta get that man his props. All right. No one is perfect. We've all done things we're not proud of, and that's whatever. He's in this peaceful place now where it's about his family and his music, and the world is responding. I mean, you can't turn on the radio without hearing one of his joints. That's what it is. And I love the fact that he, got whatever was around him away from him to where he could focus on what he needed to focus on and get to where he's at now. I love where that dude is at right now, and I have the utmost respect for him for it. Man, there's names that I'm not There's names that's not coming to me right this second.
It's okay. It's okay. You gave some great examples. I'm a huge fan of her. I know the story of her, and of course Chris Brown. Those are two big names. And speaking about her, like today, at our music summit, we're about empowering artists, right? We're trying to help people out. People get to the next level. Some of the things that you were saying earlier in the interview is going to help somebody out, inspire them, spark that little spark inside of them, and get them going. What would you say? What's the secret to NeYo's success? What in a few words, what would you say?
Not so much giving a damn about trend and like I've never really tried to fit in, so to speak. You know what I mean? I feel like if you base your sound and your image and your artistry on a trend, you are destined to fade off into whatever it was, because that's what trends are supposed to do. They're supposed to come in, land, chill for a minute, and then go. That's what they're supposed to do. That's why it's called a trend, a fad, or whatever the case may be. And I've never really cared about what was in at the moment. Like I've never really given a damn about that. Like for me, it's always been about the melody and the lyric. And those are two things that will never go out of style and will never die. I write love songs because love is something that will never go out of style and will never die. You know what I mean? And so as long as you keeping your music in that place, in that timeless place, then you yourself will remain timeless. And I feel like that's it. And just work ethic, bro. Like don't let nobody outwork you. That's what I tell every young artist that run up on me like, what's the secret, man? How I get in? What you mean how you get in, bro? Do you know what I had to do when I was young I had to like bother people coming out of restaurants. Hey, Diddy, excuse me. Can we sing for you? All right, well, peace out, Diddy. Thank you. Hang head in shame. That's what we had to do. You got cats can literally make their own music in their bathroom and upload their own music right now and wait on your damn check. Are you serious? How do I get in? You in. You already in. Now you just got to work. I think that's one thing that people don't understand. Like you want this to be your career. You want this to be that. Well, your career is your job, which means you got to get your ass up and go to work every day. You can't post it one time and then expect the whole world to just gravitate to it. No, because that's not how it works. There's 7 billion people in the world and they all not going to see what you posted Tuesday. It don't work like that, bro. That's just what it is. Work ethic, okay? The cat that's willing to stay in the studio till the sun go down and come back up again is going to beat out the cat that's singing circles around everybody in the room all day long if that dude ain't willing to work for it. That's all this is at this point. You being willing to work harder than the cat next to you. You going to get there first. That's it. Now, understand, it ain't going to happen tomorrow. It might not happen next week. But if it's what you really and truly want, if it's where you really and truly supposed to be, then what difference does it make with how much time it takes? Because as you going, you're just getting better and better and better at what you're doing. And that's what it's about anyway, right?
Right.
So that's my advice. Just keep working. The only way to fail is to stop.
Yeah.
That's where we live now. The only way you fail is to just quit. As long as you're playing the game, you in there.
That's facts. That's facts. Oh, I hope people that are in the audience, I hope y'all took that because it's the truth. It's the truth. None of this stuff, especially for entertainment, I don't know any other business but entertainment for myself, and it takes a while. I remember being in the studio. I remember being in the radio station all day, and then now I'm interviewing NeYo for Hennessy's Master of the Class. It's cool.
Come on, damn it.
Very
somebody
cool.
I wish I could hear somebody say, man, I wish I could. It's all good. Listen, I always looked at it like there's fast food, and don't get me wrong, I like some fast food. I do. I'm getting fat. It's quarantine. Leave me alone. But then there's that home cooked meal. And you're willing to wait on that home cooked meal because you know that when you get it, it's going to be everything, right? You know that. You come in the kitchen, your mom be like, go on, boy, the food ain't ready yet. And it's been 2 hours, 3 hours, and your stomach is literally talking to you like, bro, we got to figure something out. But once you get it, it's the best thing you ever tasted in life. And that's what a career is. It's not going to happen quick. It's not going to be overnight. It's damn sure not going to happen when you want it to, because that's just not how things work, all right? Life happens while you're trying to plan it. Like, that's just what it is. The only thing that you can do is continue investing in yourself constantly, daily, hourly, minutely. Continue investing in yourself and wait for your audience to catch you. That's all it is. Man,
love it. He is giving jewels out. But let's go ahead and find out this. I'm interested to know this. What would you say your biggest mistake was as an artist?
My biggest mistake as an artist is listening to other people's opinions. There was a point in my life where I would let the opinions of other people, the other people in the room, be more important than my own. And I let people talk me out of some things that I wanted to do. I wound up not doing them, to sit back and watch another artist do it and blow the world up. Like those are the only regrets that I have, is not letting my own personal opinion be as important as the opinions of, you know, other people around me. People that, you know, peers to people that have been in the business longer than me, whatever the case may be, is like, if you feel it in your gut, go with that. I don't. Sometimes it's smart to listen to somebody that's been there before you, but no one understands it. Everybody's journey ain't the same. All right, we might be trying to get to the same place, but we damn sure ain't gonna get there the same way. That's just not how it happens, y'all. So with that being said, go with your gut. Let your opinion matter. All right, if you're the only person in the room that like the song, change the room. Maybe you need to be around some other people. But that don't mean that you're crazy. Don't ever let it be that. Like, all right, well, nobody likes the song but me. I must be nuts. Everybody thinks I'm whack. I must be whack. No, everyone has an opinion. Everybody's opinion is different, and everybody's opinion either matters or doesn't. Okay, it is never their opinion matters and mine don't. Don't do that to yourself. I spent too much of my career doing that, and I feel like had I not, I'd probably be bigger than I am, to be honest.
Wow, that's very cool. All right, let me get to this. All right, singer, songwriter, producer. Which one do you love to do the most? I kind of know the answer, but I think I know the answer. What is it?
They each have their pros and cons. But I gotta say, my first love in this whole thing was writing. Writing came before anything else. You know what I mean? From journal entries to eventually poetry to then songs. Like it's been my therapy for as long as I can remember. Still is to this day. You know what I'm saying? There's things that I can say in a song that I can never say out of my mouth just in conversation, just because I can't put it together the right way. But give me 30 minutes to an hour and let me sit and put it together in a record, and I can get the full idea out. That's yeah. If I had to choose one, now don't get me wrong, I don't want to choose, because I found absolute and unbridled joy in everything that you've just named. You know, there's been a songwriting moment where it's like, all right, if I died right now, I'd be all right with that. Same thing with production, same thing with performance. Come on, I performed in Wembley Stadium in front of 80,000 people. Had 80,000 people jumping up and down at the same time. There's something electric about that. You know what I mean? Like you feel that from your head to your toes. You feel that. So if I had to choose one, it would be the songwriting. But I thank God daily that I've never had to choose.
Absolutely. Now, for an aspiring artist, what advice would you just give them? I know you gave a ton of advice, but let's break it down into, like, let's say maybe 3 points of, if I'm trying to get into the game, what 3 things would NeYo tell me?
Okay. Know thyself. Know who you are through and through. All right. Don't leave anything to question. Know exactly who you are, because when trying to get into the business, if you're just talented, but you don't have any real vision or direction, somebody's going to come along and try to give you a vision or a direction. And God forbid you make it big on a vision or direction that was not yours, and now you're stuck. You stuck. And you have to live out the rest of your career as somebody that you never were, but it worked. So here we are. Don't do that to yourself. Know who you are. 2, once you figure out who you are, be that. Be that through and damn through. We live in a time now where there's an audience for anything and everything. All right. I don't care what your style is, what it is that you do, there's an audience for it. And you simply have to be patient enough to wait on your audience to find you. Okay. It's not about trying to sound like who's hottest right now. If they want that, if you sound like who's hottest right now, why would they listen to you when they can just go listen to that person, that artist?
Exactly.
Figure out what your thing is and then do that thing unapologetically. Be who the hell you are through and through, because that is your power. That's a superpower in the music industry. Individuality. Somebody can look at you and go, I've never heard that before. I've never seen that before. Even if they don't like it, the fact that it's not everything else is at least going to give them the attention for a second. It's going to force them to look for a second. And that's all you really need if you're doing it with passion. That's another thing. Don't half-ass this thing, man. Don't half-ass this. Like, make sure that you're doing this with your everything, with all that you are. Spending every waking moment making sure that people know where your music is, how to get to it, who you are, what your sound is, whatever the case may be. Again, invest in yourself. Don't sit back and wait on somebody to do it for you. Don't to hell with people promising this and promising that. Listen, if you can get up and do it yourself, get up and do it your damn self. Because at the end of the day, when the money starts coming in, the less people you have to pay back, the better. I'm gonna just tell you that straight the hell up.
Straight like that.
Yeah.
For real. All right, but for a songwriter and a producer, NeYo, what is it? Because it seems like it's tough. Like, I write songs, I produce. Everybody's a producer, everybody's a writer. How do you even get your first placement? What does that feel like? I mean, not even say feel like. How does that even happen?
I was blessed enough to have people around me that really and truly believed in me, to where, I did a lot of groundwork myself, bouncing from studio to studio, just trying to get in where I fit in. Got jerked out of a lot of money that way, because you get in the studio and you catch a vibe and you write something and you leave, and then the song is on the radio and you didn't sign no paperwork nowhere, and all of a sudden no one knows that you wrote on that song. Yeah, that's another piece of advice I'll give you. Learn the business that you're in, okay? Because if you don't, there's somebody out there banking on the fact that you don't know, and when they're gonna bank on the fact that you don't know straight to the bank with your money. Learn your business. I had a manager that believed in me to the point where he almost went broke trying to make sure that I got where he felt like I deserved to be, and by the grace of God, things worked out, and I paid him back tenfold. But just having that one person that believed in me enough to get out in them streets and push, that was part of what helped me get to where I am.
Right. I've heard that a lot. You got to have that person that believes in you. That's that special person that can get in them doors that sometimes you might not be able to get into. Like, now, so speaking of new producers, do you ever like say, all right, you know what, I'm looking for, I've had this sound, I wrote for this person, wrote for me. Do you look for new writers and producers?
Always. And every day I'm approached by somebody to say they're a writer or they're a producer. Now, everybody's not always as prepared. Some people aren't always as prepared as others. Like, don't run up on me and tell me that you're a producer and you ain't got no beats to give me. Don't run up on me and tell me you're a songwriter and you ain't got nothing to record. Can I sing you something right now? No, bro. No. Be prepared. Have your jump drive or whatever it is ready to go. As soon as you walk up, hey, bro, I do music. Here's this, or hey, there's my email, or hey, here's my SoundCloud, whatever the case may be, so that I can see what it is you do. But yeah, I'm always searching. I can honestly say though, this album is the first time that I ever like openly reached out and said, songwriters come in. Before this, I was always like, nobody's gonna give me a song for me better than me. So why would I do that? But what I realized is there are a trillion different ways to write a song, a trillion different melodies, a trillion different lyrical designs and setups. And I know what I do, and I do what I do well, but I do what I do my way. Okay, I reach from this box right here. This is my box. I'm doing myself a disservice to ignore the literal trillions of other boxes that are out there. Like, why would I not let this young cat come in and write something from a standpoint that I would have never thought of, or a melody that I wouldn't have came up with? Why would I not do that? So, I took it upon myself to stop being just selfish and work with some other songwriters. So some very talented young songwriters, some up and coming, some names on this new album. But you'll hear all that when the album comes out. Yeah.
Okay, so you saying knowing the business, right? So then we have independent and we have major label. What would you say? What would you say the pros and cons of either are? Going with a major, being independent. What would you talk to that a little bit? Because I think a lot of people say, you hear people, oh man, don't slide with a major label because they're gonna take your money. And then independent, they're like, yo, you can make all this cash and you can do this. It's a lot of different finesses in there, and I'm sure you know about it. Talk to me.
They definitely both have pros and cons. Let's go major label first. Pro. You get to spend money that ain't yours. You get to spend money that you didn't have before. Money that don't got to come out of your pocket, at least not right away, not right up front. Learn the business. Con, you do have to pay that money back. And no matter what happens, they want their damn money. You are a slave to them until they get their money. That's just what it is. Until they get their money back, you kind of work for them. Independent. Pro, you can do whatever the hell you want. You can put out whatever kind of music you want, whenever you want, do whatever you want. Con, it's all on you. You don't have a team of tastemakers, making sure that everybody know where your music is at. Or you don't have an account over here with money in it for your video or for, this promotion or whatever the case may be. All that money is coming out of your pocket. or the pocket of somebody who got an independent label. I mean, at the end of the day, you can be successful doing both. One might take a little bit longer, but honestly, the independent might take a little bit longer. But honestly, if you sign the wrong record deal, you try to sign the wrong major, that could take a little bit longer too. You know what I mean? So it's really about, at the end of the day, as I said earlier, it's about your specific work ethic. It's about what you're willing to get up and do yourself, as opposed to sitting back and waiting on somebody else to do it. I feel like when you're on a major, you have a tendency to wait on somebody else to do it because you feel like they will. That ain't always the case. You know, I won't say that there's definitely some record labels out there that do what they say they're gonna do, but not all of them. And I can honestly say it might be a few more that don't than the ones that do. That's just the reality of it. Now, you will get a check from a major label. You will get a check. But when you break that thing down and look at how much they get versus how much you get when the album actually comes out, the pennies you get versus the hundreds of thousands of dollars that they get might make you look at that thing a little different. Now, as an independent artist, once whatever you spend, if you get some success, all that comes back to you, which is a great thing. But you have to be willing to invest in yourself. All right. If all you got is 400,000, you put it all into a project and that project don't go nowhere, that's 400,000 out of your pocket that is gone. Now, you got 400,000, you put it into a project and it works out, you double, triple, quadruple that money on the comeback because you ain't got to pay all of these people back. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to give this record label 70, 80% off top. You don't have to do that. So it's really about the way that you want to do it, because you can be successful both ways. But again, both ways are going to depend on how much work you're personally willing to do.
That is really tricky, especially like when you say like learn the business. It makes total sense, right? And I feel like when a lot of artists, that's that moment. Do you feel like that? Do you feel like that's the moment, right, NeYo, when somebody's about to get signed or they're in that, they bubble, they got to that point. We got people probably in here right now that got to that point and maybe messed the deal up because they didn't take something, and then it takes a while to get something else. What would you tell them? Like, what would you tell them when they get that moment right there? Because you've had it. Everybody that you know that's in the business they have that moment. What would you tell them in that moment?
That's a hard question because it really depends on the situation. It depends on the situation. I've been in really, really crummy deals. I've been in really, really good deals. At the end of the day, it was kind of all on me. It was my decision. Nobody forced me to sign that. Nobody forced me to not sign that. You know what I mean? It's about you and the decision that you want to make. Again, I feel like, as I said earlier, I have to keep stressing this because I don't feel like people understand the importance of it.
Please.
The work that you are willing to do is going to decide your success, is going to decide your victory or your failure. And that is, be you on a major label or be you independent. Okay. If you're on a major label and you don't want to do no work, I mean, and listen, this is me personally. I can't stand social media. All right. I've never grasped the concept of telling everybody where you are and what you're doing at all times. It don't make no sense. The era I come from, you did the opposite of that. You don't tell everybody what's going on, but that's what it is right now. And it is important. I hate that it's so important, but it is. It is. And if you're not willing to play the game, then you can't be mad when you don't get all the points you want. That's just reality. You in the game, you on the team, but you decided to sit on the bench. You ain't want to play. All right, well, you didn't score. That's just what happens. That's the reality of it.
That is a gem.
You have to be willing to do the work, regardless to independent, regardless to major. You have to be willing to do the work. You cannot sit back and wait on somebody to do something that you know you can get up and do your damn self. That's just what it is.
Love it, man. Love it. I hope everybody that's watching this is getting this. This is great stuff. Let me get, you got a great pen. We're about to close up, but I want to know the writing part, right? Because you wrote for everybody and you wrote amazing records for everybody. What would you give somebody? What idea, what help could you give a writer to write a hit song? Is there such thing, a formula to writing a hit song?
So there is a formula, but I would be remiss to tell you that it always works. It doesn't always work. It's not math. You know, math is perfect. 1 + 1 will always equal 2. I don't care how you slice it, right? It's more like the English language. where it's silent letters and stuff that don't even. Why is there a T in ballet? I don't get it. It's about what it is okay. Formula to a hit song. All right, an infectious beat, a beat that you hear and you somewhat identify with. You know, drums that are heavy enough to rattle your chest. That always works. A hook that is memorable, preferably something repetitive, something that repeats in the hook. You know what I'm saying? A lyric that is catchy, something that somebody wants to repeat. Say something that somebody wants to say back. You know, girls is in the mirror getting ready, talking about, you know, whatever the lyric is that makes them feel good. Like these are ingredients to a hit song. Now, there's songs out there that have all these things that don't become a hit because there's more to what becomes a hit than just how it's written. There's more to it than that. We both know that. You work in radio, you understand that. There's other elements that decide what a hit song is going to be versus what isn't. But 100%. From a songwriter standpoint, these are the things that you kind of want your songs to have. You want something in the hook to be repetitive enough and easy enough for somebody to sing along. And let me elaborate on that right quick. There are some singers that are songwriters too that have a tendency to write things that they can do and only they can do. That's not going to work for you because we live in an era now where people want to sing with you. They want to sing it too. So if you write something that's so complicated and so intricate that only you can do it, well, you gonna be doing it by yourself, listening to it alone in your room somewhere, impressed with your damn self. Like, oh, I hit that riff. Yes, you did, but no one cares because no one else can. If you are writing for the masses, you might want to make it short and simple. Always wins the race. That Michael Jackson told me that. Keep it short and simple. Don't overthink it. Don't overdo it because no one else is. All right. We sit back talking about the hi-hat is too loud. Most people don't even know what the hell a hi-hat is. Calm down, bro. You're doing this for them. I mean, it's for you, but it's for them. You know, does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. And that was a small flex, Mike, with the Michael Jackson name drop, NeYo. That was a small flex.
I hit my shoe. Hold on. I hit my shoe.
Hey, man, before I let you out of here, I got to ask, with season 2 of Verzuz, you were one of the first people that really got the Verzuz going. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like you need another try at it, bro? I think so.
Funny you should say that. So a lot of people, I keep hearing, NeYo, when you gonna do a Verzuz? I'm like, I did. We did. It was back. Okay. It was before it became the monster that it is now. But me and Jonte Austin, we did a songwriters Verzuz, right?
Exactly.
Songwriter to songwriter. And it was amazing. Shout out to Jonte Austin. Shout out to Swiss Beat. Shout out to Timbaland for allowing the opportunity. But now people are saying, well, you did one as a songwriter. Now you need to do one as an artist. And I'm like, that is not a bad idea. Question is, versus who?
I got one right now. Because this person said on record, so it's not like I'm starting anything. I'm just repeating what I heard. He said nobody can mess with him vocally. No one can mess with him. And it's Mario.
NeYo Trey Songz.
That's what he said. I didn't say it. He said that.
He did say that. He did say that. And that's how you supposed to feel. All right? Ain't nobody gonna make like you. All right, cool, brother. But I feel like if it was a singing contest, that might make sense. Joint for joint, I don't know if he can carry that. I'm gonna just be honest with you. Love Mario to death, love him to death, but joint for joint, I don't know if he can carry that.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm looking forward to see what they
said with no ego whatsoever. I'm not trying to flex right now. I'm simply saying from a standpoint of hit for hit, I don't think it's him. I don't think it's him.
I get it. I get that. That makes sense. That makes sense. So basically, you saying NeYo, you gonna smoke him. But anyway, let me go ahead. Let me close this up, man. Today's master class is brought to you by Hennessy. Never stop, never settle. Our next master of the class will be Jeezy on Monday, November 16th. Make sure you go to WGCI.com and register right now. NeYo, always a pleasure to talk to you, my brother. Excellent, man. I hope everybody got all the jewels that you shared. Amazing content, brother, man. I wish you nothing but the best. And again, just a shout out. That's all I want. When you and Jeremiah do your album together and it goes crazy.
Say less. Say less. I'm gonna say that the idea came from you, but I ain't gonna see no money. All right, bro. Light it up.
Look,
I'm playing a little bit.
Man, it's all good, man. Drinks on you, my dog. It's good.
My man.
Love.
Appreciate it, homie.